During the Second World War, my grandmother and her parents hid in the woods from the Nazis. They had just the food that they found in the woods, like tree bark, hedgehogs, nettle and other plants. On my mother's side, the family were sent to concentration camps. In Niš, Rotes Kreuz, Jasenovac and Mauthausen. My grandfather was a child when the Nazis put him in the concentration camp. I found this out because I saw the tattoo on my grandfather's and on my great-grandmother's arm. Numbers that started with a Z. One day I sat and I was playing with the hand of my grandfather. I felt comfortable enough to get curious, so I asked what the numbers on his wrist meant. But the family shouted at me not to ask that much. Years later, I went with the school on excursion to Mauthausen, one of the first Nazis' massive concentration camp complexes in Austria. There, I saw the pictures with the tattoos on the arms of the Roma, just like those that my grandmother and my grandfather had on their arms. The fact that Roma were murdered in Nazi concentration camps is not written in school books. I haven't learned it or heard it. In Austrian school books you can't find it. We are mentioned very rarely in the history, and especially about this time when Hitler started the persecution and obliteration of the Roma. I haven't learned it or heard it. I just learned about the fate of the Jewish people. For my family, this period is a big shame and a secret. I started through my artwork to find out what really happened, and I asked some family members if they would talk about it, but nobody agreed. Just through some coincidences, I find out that from my mother, her older cousin, she told me she wouldn't be alive if her mother wouldn't carry her with her teeth to neighbors. The Nazis broke both of her arms. They hid her and her mother from the Nazis. They burned down their house. My personal research through interviews about the WWII, this was the name of the Roma Holocaust, like the Shoah for the Jews, taught me that many more Roma were murdered than the official number tells. But the number of victims is unknown because most of the Roma had no documents at that time, so there was no paper trail. According to different estimates, it is a 6-digit number. Here in Austria, there is still no central memorial for the Roma. The FPÖ, the right wing, was again against it, but it would be very important for the Roma here, the native Roma here in Austria, and the ones who immigrated from the Balkans. With the destruction of the Roma, they didn't just murder our people, they murdered our history. Like burning down a library. As our lore, our history, every story was oral. The new generation have lost their Roma history, the knowledge, the tradition, and every belonging that tells us and the others the Roma identity. Now we, the new generation, have realized that we have to start from the very, very beginning. And this is the reason why it is so hard to build up something, because there is a big gap.